WhatsApp has over 3 billion active users, and it's currently the go-to communication channel for most businesses worldwide, especially small to medium enterprises for tasks such as lead generation, lead nurturing, and even closing sales. So it's an insanely effective platform to do this, and now we can integrate AI agents onto WhatsApp to handle most of this work. But here is the problem. Integrating AI agents to WhatsApp is a notoriously difficult task, as you have seen in my previous videos and other videos that exist out there in YouTube. You have to go through endless verification steps to just even test the basic functionalities with WhatsApp. And that's why today I want to introduce you to the Evolution API, a platform which is built on Baileys that allows you to connect to the WhatsApp API without having to go through that tedious manual verification process. Allows you to connect directly WhatsApp to your AI agents on n8n. And so in this video, I'll walk you through how to set up the Evolution API, how to connect it to your n8n workflow, to then be able to set up your n8n AI agents on WhatsApp in a much easier way. Let's get straight to it.
So in order to get started, we need a hosting provider. Hosting provider that allows us to then host something called EasyPanel, which we will then use to run the Evolution API. And I would go for Hostinger. Hostinger has a super great plan. They're doing it really cheap, and they have so many data centers worldwide, which make them very reliable. So there's different plans. I will leave a link in the description for you to go inside. And once you're in here, you're gonna see these plans. Okay, KVM1, 2, 4, and 8. The numbers represent the number of CPUs, and that just determines the performance and how quick your server will run. You would choose the KVM2 plan, because I think for the resources that you get, it's really good price. So what you're gonna do is choose a plan, and you will see something like this.
All right, so once here, you are going to reduce the period from 24 months to 12 months. And now on the right side, you're gonna see a coupon code section. Because you're watching this video, you're gonna type in Frank Nillard, and you're gonna get a nice little cheeky discount over here, okay? So you're gonna get a nice 10% discount. And as you go below over here, first of all, you're gonna select the server location that is closest to you. You should automatically select the location that you're closest with. And you can optionally select your OS. I mean, if you want to do it now, you can leave it blank, or you can choose EasyPanel, which is what we are going to use to host the Evolution API. So you can go ahead and confirm, and then you're going to hit continue and go through the rest of the steps. Once you have gone through the rest of the setup, and the reason I didn't show you is because I already have gone through the setup, you should see something like this. And if you actually selected EasyPanel as the operating system, then you're going to see it over here. If you haven't for some reason, then you can go to OS and Panel, Operating System, and then search for the operating system over here, EasyPanel, and go ahead and install it, okay? So make sure it's built on Ubuntu, which is the best one for this use case. Once you have this up and running, and you see EasyPanel over here, you are going to go to Manage Panel, and something like this should pop up. And if it's your first time, you might need to actually sign up. So you might need to put an email and a password, and after that, you should be able to go in. If not, then that's also just the same thing. But anyways, once you're here, now we can go ahead and create a new project. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. So all you need to do is just click Create Project over here. We're gonna call it Evo API, and we're gonna go on templates. They already did the hard work for us by setting templates for us, the database and the app. So let's go ahead and over here, and we should get the latest version. If you wanna make sure that you have picked the latest version, then what you can do is go to this URL over here. Okay, so I mean, you can always put as well, if I go here, I can just type in Docker Hub Evolution API, and it should be the first result. And if you open that in the Docker Hub, if you scroll down below, you should see whatever is below latest is the newest version. So we are on v2.2.3, which is the latest version. So now that we know that that's the latest version, that we're good to go ahead and hit create. Now we're gonna go to project. And now you are just going to wait a few minutes, a few moments for this to start running. In this case, it already is on, okay? The app is already on the server, but for you, it might take a few more minutes. But yeah, once this is complete, then make sure to go to the environment over here. And we are going to do two things. The first one is that you're gonna scroll all the way below, and you're gonna see this authentication API key. Let's see if I can show you over here, okay? Don't worry, I'm gonna change this once I have uploaded the video. This is not gonna be working anymore, but just go ahead and copy this, okay? Because you're gonna use it to log in to the Evolution API app once we access it. So go ahead and copy that and paste it somewhere safe. The second thing that we are going to do is go a bit up, and we are going to fix an environment variable. So you are going to go on to, let's see if we see it over here. There we go. So you're going to see this variable called config session phone version. Okay. We need to update that onto a new version, because what I found is that I got some issues with the QR code that we're going to use to scan with our phone to be able to connect onto the WhatsApp API. Okay, so the QR code for the previous version wasn't working, so we're going to put this new version. I'm going to leave that in the description on the video for you to just copy paste onto it. But yeah, once you pasted that and you have the authentication API key, you are going to hit save. Once you hit save, now you are going to click deploy. So this is just going to redeploy the Evolution API app again with the new environment variables that we have just added. It's only one that we added, but yeah. So you can just click once again over here, and once you see information about the server, then should be ready to go. So now what we can do is hit open. Okay, and don't be afraid if you see that. Okay, if you see this message, basically all this is saying is, okay, well, you need to go to this actual URL to open the Evolution API app. So you're gonna go ahead and do that and just open a new browser, paste the URL, and you are going to get into the Evolution API app. I'm logged in already, but what you should see is probably a login page, okay? So all you need to do is, it's gonna ask you at some point for the API key and the global API key, and that's what you have grabbed from before, okay? Here from EasyPanel on environment, the authentication API key over here. This is what you are going to add on that login page. Okay, so once you're past that login, then we are going to create an instance. And this instance is going to represent a WhatsApp phone number. Okay, so I'm gonna call it Frank test, and you can leave the number blank. And as you can see here, since the Evolution API is a platform, Bailey's is the actual reversed engineered WhatsApp protocol. Bailey's is the actual thing, right? But we can go through the verification process either in the unofficial way, which is through Bailey's, or we can also do it through the WhatsApp Cloud API. So depending on the type of client that you have, if it's a larger enterprise client that is a bit more wary, let's say, about the consequences of using Bailey's, because Bailey's, again, is unofficial. I'll explain later on what are the pros and cons of it. If the client is a bit more wary about privacy or getting banned or anything, then obviously you can choose within the Evolution API to go for the official WhatsApp process. But for this one, we're just going to select Bailey's, leave this blank because, oh, hold on, let me put that again. You're going to leave this blank because we're actually going to use the phone now. So hit save, and you are going to see this card appear, which represents a phone number and a WhatsApp account. So now what we're going to do is for this account, select settings over here. Okay, so we're going to open that, and this is how we are going to connect our WhatsApp account through the Evolution API. So if you click here on the right, you're going to see get QR code, and this is going to show up. So what you do here is you can grab your phone, open WhatsApp, there's a little icon, camera icon on the top right, and you can just scan this and it's gonna go ahead and connect automatically. But before this, I wanna make sure I can connect the Evolution API to my WhatsApp workflow, which is where our AI agent is going to live. So before we do this, we're gonna go ahead to configurations and to settings. We wanna put some of these things on. So we're gonna reject all incoming calls. I am going to ignore groups. I want to keep WhatsApp always online so that the agent works 24/7. And I'm also going to mark all messages as read. Okay, I guess the last one is more of a personal preference, but I think it's better to just leave it as read. So we're going to hit save now. You can leave the rest as they are. Hit save. Make sure you get a message on the top right saying that the settings have been applied. Now we are going to go onto events, look into the webhook section. So we're going to open that, and this is what we need to quickly configure. So you're going to see a URL that we have to put in. This is what the Evolution Manager or the Evolution API needs to relay that message onto N8N. Okay, so we're going to send it to a webhook address. And that's why we need to create now a new N8N workflow so that we can send these messages onto a webhook endpoint, which we are just going to create right now. So we're going to add a step and select webhook. Go ahead and choose that, switch to production URL, go to post. The reason I'm switching to production URL is because I could start by testing it,
but I just want to save time. So I'm just going to select production URL, select this to post. We're going to change the path because that just looks like a lot of garbage. Make it very simple. You just call it evolution test or evolution API. Now you're going to grab the production URL for post. Make sure to save this. Make sure to set this to active and call it something sensible, not my workflow 8, because then you're not going to find it. So evolution API sounds good. And now I am going to go back to the evolution manager and paste the URL right here. Now make sure this is enabled, otherwise you'll not be able to send any webhooks. And you might want to consider turning this on, but for most scenarios, you are not going to want to turn this on. I'm talking about the webhook by event. So it's going to create a new route or path. So a route is essentially when you see in a URL, at the end, you have the final slash and whatever comes after it, usually it's an action, is called a route. So that just defines all the different events that you can do over here below. These events can be remotely adding, deleting contacts, creating groups on WhatsApp or not, adding labels, which I did mention some other point for Chatwood, and some other stuff. So if you tick this on, what you can do then is select or add multiple webhook endpoints and just keep things neat when you have a lot of stuff going on. But to be honest, for most scenarios, you don't need that. So I'm going to turn that off. I don't even use it myself. And most of the stuff anyways, most of the events can be classified later on when we receive the webhook message. And there are event types inside that message. And we can add an if statement or a conditional statement to actually filter those. So we don't really need this one. We don't even need to switch this one either, because I'm just going to keep it very simple and just send text messages. But if you want to send images or videos, then you might want to turn this on. But I'm not going to cover this in this video. So just leave these off and we're going to keep coming down over here and you are going to select messages upsert to on. Okay, make sure to select that one on over here and then select save. And now that we've set up the general settings and also the webhook settings so we can send messages to an 810, what we can go and do is go to the dashboard and actually connect our WhatsApp account through the Bailey's protocol. So open the QR code and now I'm going to go ahead and grab my phone. Okay, so now I just opened the WhatsApp account of one of the numbers that I bought from Twilio just for this demo. So I went to the account, I went to the top right, onto the camera icon, and I'm just going to scan this QR code that I see over here. So now I am going to select continue and I'm going to go ahead and link the device. You might need to scan the QR code one more time. Okay, so I scanned it. Now I need to, I just added a new device. So I'm going to call this FrankBot. I'm going to hit save. And now you should give it a moment for it to sync. Cool, it says active. And now I can press X over here and it should load all of my contacts, all of my chats, and all of my messages. It works. We connected it and it was just a simple QR code. So you imagine doing it through this method versus doing it through the official WhatsApp API, where you have to create an app, then you have to create an official business account on another portal and go through that, verification process and setup process, which is very, very difficult. So yeah, if you want to test things really simply, just to see how everything looks, how your AI agents or automations work through WhatsApp, and you don't want to go through that entire process, you just want to test it quickly, then this is pretty much the easiest way to do it. Sure, it's unofficial, but it just gets you quick. So now I'm just going to go ahead and switch cameras again. Right, so now that we've actually added our WhatsApp account, connecting it via the QR code, now we need to check if we are receiving messages on then. So you're going to grab a separate number or phone. We're going to grab another WhatsApp account and somehow send a message to this account connected to the Evolution API. So I am using Chatwood in this case, but you can grab another phone, another WhatsApp account, and we're just going to send a message. So I'm going to say, hey, I am Frank. You can see I've tested it a couple times over here. We are going to send this. Before I do, I want to make sure I'm on the executions tab. I'm going to send this message now. Hey, I'm Frank. And I'm going to switch quickly and see if I receive a message. And as you can see, we have received a message at 3:20, and I'm just going to go ahead and copy that onto the editor. So let's wait until it loads. Let's copy onto the editor. And now we have the data that we have just received through my other WhatsApp account over here on the webhook endpoint. So now it's pinned because I don't want to be sending messages all the time to test this. So we can see over here, for example, hey, I am Frank. That's what we received. And we have some other interesting data as well. We are going to be using this soon. We also can see that we receive the event type. So if we're actually doing any other actions, So we're not just sending text messages, we're sending maybe video and images, or we are updating a group, deleting a group. We can filter them with this event property over here, event field, if you may. Cool, so we actually have received a message from my other phone number, that's great. Now we are going to build an AI agent so that we can process that message and send something back. Let's go ahead and do that. So for demonstration purposes, I'm gonna build a simple agent and then you can customize it to however you want. The important thing is that we know how to receive messages and send messages back to the person that's chatting to the AI agent. So before adding an AI agent, I'm actually gonna add an edit fields node. And we're just gonna grab some important information that we're gonna use later. So we need the chat ID. That'll be helpful. So let's go ahead and add the chat ID. And the chat ID should be here. So the sender. Basically, we need a unique number, and phone numbers are pretty unique to every person. So that should go well. Then we are going to get instance name. So the instance name is going to be what we've called, if you remember, we created a card on the Evolution Manager, right, at the start. And we called it a name. So that's what essentially we need to add over here. So the instance name, there we go. Frank test, if you remember, or whatever you call it. We need an API key. So that would be great. So for the API key, we would need it for the HTTP request later on. So let's grab the API key, give me this one. Then we need also the URL, server URL. So we're gonna need this. Server URL is right here, and that should be perfect for now, okay? So let's execute this step, and now we have those variables easy to grab instead of having to get yourself deep into the webhook and search through them manually and so on. You just have them here. Cool. So now I am going to create a simple AI agent. So we're gonna connect, well, let's define this below, the user message. Actually, it would be great to just grab the user message as well from the edit fields node. Let's grab a user message. So, user message, there you go. Cool, so this should be it. Let's execute that step again. And now let's keep building the chat agent. So we're gonna make it very simple. I'm gonna use this basic OpenAI chat model, switch it to OpenAI account. There you go, memory, simple memory. And we need a session ID for every conversation. So every conversation session should be unique. So we need a unique ID or a unique identifier, which is this key. Okay, because we want to separate conversation from Bob to a conversation with Sarah. Okay, they have to be different. We need to grab a unique number, and that's going to be usually something that has the phone number attached. Okay, because every person has a unique phone number. Okay, so that's going to be our key, and I like to switch it to 10, just personal preference. I think it works better like that. And I'm going to leave the tools as they are. Oh, of course, we need the user message, so we grab that as well. So we're going to put that there. And also, you can add a system message. Maybe you want to personalize the output to something else. Maybe you have a booking travel agent, or you have a lead agent to classify leads, and you want to add maybe specific output format, so on and so on. I'll let you be, but yeah, system message is something that you would like to have. That should be it. And now we're going to look into the HTTP request in order to send messages back to the lead that had a chat with the AI agent. So HTTP request. And now we're going to set this up. Let's set this to post. I think it's post. And now we're going to have a look at the rest. In order to understand what to even put, it's good that we go to Evolution Manager over here. And we're going to look at the documentation of the Evolution API. So go ahead and click Postman, bottom left, and it's going to open a new page. There you go. And we're going to go to the latest version of the Evolution API, and then go to Send Message, Send Text. As you can see here, we can send media, or media file, but we'll keep it very simple, send text. All right, so the first thing that I'm having a look at right now is the URL. So it's a post method, and we need a base URL /message /send text / and then the instance. So we're gonna grab that. We're gonna use it real soon. As you see, they put it in these curly brackets because it's something dynamic, perfect for an A10. So I am gonna add that over here. Obviously, we don't have an instance. Let's run this agent for a second so that we get a response. So now we can see what's happening. So, all right. So what did it ask for us? It asked for us a base URL. So that's the URL from which we are operating at with the Evolution API. So that's that. And then the instance. So we have the instance name right here. So that should be it for the URL. Okay, so what else do we need? Params, nothing. Well, authorization. Okay, we need to add an API key. So let's go ahead and do that. Headers. Let's put in, for header parameters, we are going to put API key exactly as they mention it here. So, yeah, there we go. So we need to type it as it is right here, API key. API key, the value would be our global API key. So we actually grabbed that from before, drag it across. Cool. And I think that's it for we don't need any more name and values, but we need to send something back. So what is it asking from us? Nothing here. If we go to raw JSON, it's asking for a number and a text. So for the number, we need the remote ID, it's mentioned here. So, okay, essentially we need to type in number, and for the value, we grab this ID, which has our phone number attached. And now obviously we need to send the text. So the text is going to be the response from our AI agent. So we need to call it text as we see here, text. And the value is going to be, well, the message that we want to send back. So this is the response from the AI agent to our message, hey, I am Frank, which supposedly is being sent by a lead. Seems like we can also add a delay. So it's an option. We can add a delay, quoted, link preview mentions, everyone mentioned. We can go ahead and play around with a delay if you want to make it a bit more human, or make it seem a bit more human. So add a delay to just emulate that a person is typing. So we can add that over here, delay. And let's see what format does it want it. So delay 1200. So that's, I guess, in milliseconds. Probably have to put it in like this. Let's add 1200 milliseconds. Should be great. Okay, that looks good. And now we are going to test this and see if we receive a message back. Okay, so far I am the lead, right? So this is all the messages that I've sent as a lead. Now we should expect a message back from the AI agent. So let's go ahead and run this HTTP request, and we should receive something back. Okay, cool. So now we should see something coming here. Okay, so we can't actually test it like that. We can't execute step because we have it set as active. What we're gonna do is hit save, and we're just gonna test it live. So we're gonna go back over to Chatwood and send a message directly instead of just testing the step inside an event, since we have it set as active. Hi, how's it going? All right, so I realized I did something wrong. So if you just followed what I did, you're probably sending messages to yourself. For the number, we had to grab the remote JID. Instead of grabbing the sender, which is ourselves, we need to go ahead and grab the remote JID, okay? So you're gonna go ahead and grab that, paste it onto number, and now it should be good. Go ahead and save that, or you can actually even test it as well, right? So if we execute the step, now we should see another message pop by. There you go. So hello Frank, how can I assist you today? And now he's gonna keep talking to it right now, since we know that we sent a message and now we receive a message back with an AI agent response. We're just gonna say just something different. Hi, how are you? You should be able to see these conversations happening in WhatsApp. So I can actually show you how that looks like over here. So you can see, hi, how are you? Hi, Frank, I'm doing well. How are you today? Who is Michael Jackson? You should know who Michael Jackson is. There you go. And you can see it reflected here as well. So in this case, obviously this is the AI agent number. So yeah, there you go. It works. Okay, so I did say I was going to do a quick comparison between the Meta API and the Evolution API. So let's get to it. So the Meta API, where do I get started with this? I've used it so much. I've encountered so many difficulties with it, but it's got its good points, which is, well, it's officially supported by Meta. It's highly stable and secure, good compliance with policies. You're not gonna get banned, obviously, if you're using the Meta API and you're doing the right things. It's scalable for high volume use cases and business growth. So if you're a larger enterprise, you might benefit from this more. You get priority support if anything goes wrong, and you get reliable message delivery and analytics because it's, once again, the official platform, the official API. It has cons, which many of you are aware of, and a lot of people try to explain this in YouTube, including me, which is the business verification and the Meta approval, the main pain point for everybody that I've seen in the comments in my videos. Stricter onboarding policies, message template reviews. So if you get through the verification process, you still have to be very cautious on what you do, what you don't, and understand the rules very well. You may need a new number. So most cases, if you're connecting a number that's connected to an existing WhatsApp account, you might need to disconnect, meaning that you might lose conversation data from that, okay? So be aware. And you might need to use that number solely for the API connection. So overall, it's less flexible if you're a small business or you're just testing things out. You want to test how your AI agent works, which is why if you're struggling with this, you are a medium to larger enterprise looking for WhatsApp AI agents, I'll leave a link in the description below so you can get a free consultation call. We specialize in WhatsApp AI agents. So go ahead, grab a free AI consultation and we can chat about your project. Otherwise, when to use it, as I said, larger businesses with strict policies and guardrails, large amount of inbound plus outbound messages. Once again, you're medium to large company. Let's say you're a logistics company, directly managing users and helping users with any queries about any of the products that they received, then this is perfect because you might be receiving 10,000 users every month talking to the WhatsApp agent, which is a big plus. But then again, you need a proper and reliable API to do this with. Businesses focus on compliance and reliability. Let's say you're a healthcare company, okay? You're gonna need this. And when you want priority support and least risk of account banning, right? Very important. And then you have the Evolution API over here. Okay, as you've seen in this video, it's super easy to integrate. So it's good for use cases that, for testing use cases or for small businesses, okay, that are not receiving or sending many messages. Flexible options, experimental projects, but for custom projects as well. And to some extent, many more things that you can do with the official API. And a quick setup for pilots, MVPs, proof of concepts, which if you want me to help with that, we can also help. I'll leave a link in the description. The cons. It's not officially recognized by Meta. There's a risk of the number getting banned if policies are violated, which honestly, I haven't seen yet. I tried it a couple of times and I haven't seen anything. As long as you don't do a lot of outbound, as long as you use this API as a respondent, okay? If leads come to your AI agent connected to the Evolution API, and this AI agent is used to answer questions, you're actually doing a good use case with that. But if you're using it for spam, if you're using the Evolution API to connect it to agents that spam 500 people to sell a product, for example, so mainly outbound, then there's a higher chance that you get banned. So as long as you're sensible with how you're using the Evolution API, you should be completely fine. It's about common sense. So yeah, less stable. I haven't seen any problems with it. Breaking changes, there might be breaking changes, okay? The Evolution API is a constantly growing library, so there might be stuff, but as long as you're aware of this, you're aware of the changes and you're sticking to learning about the changes, then it should be good. No official customer support, haven't seen any issues with it. Limited scalability, well, yes, mainly for outbound, right? You might get banned, but yeah, obviously it's not as robust as Meta because they have a ton of servers around the world. That's why, but this is important, okay? So for sensitive use cases, if you're a healthcare company or maybe an asset management company that's dealing with sensitive data, you probably have enough money to hire somebody to do it the official way, okay? So this might not be for you. When to use it, if you are a small to medium business owner that wants to implement this by themselves, okay, you don't have a million outbound messages to send, it's mostly inbound, then this is perfect. Startups, hobby projects, this applies as well. And especially for phone numbers on WhatsApp Business that have been active for a long time. Okay, WhatsApp likes phone numbers that have been for a long time on WhatsApp Business. This just gives the official API or Meta an indication that, okay, you've received messages and sent messages for a long time, meaning that you're a reliable phone number. So there's less likelihood of them banning your phone number if you've been with them for a long time. Rapid prototyping, testing new ideas. And there are some cases where Meta, is really shit at, doing onboarding, as you've seen, or maybe it doesn't have any other features that you want or are hard to implement. For example, accessing groups, right? Giving a bot access to a group. This can get a bit complicated. So this is where you can test it out or even use it, okay? So that's it. And WhatsApp is actually figuring out a new way to do it, new and easy way. It's not available on many countries at the moment. I believe in Brazil and other areas, not in Europe, not in the United Kingdom yet. But they're working on it, which it might work similar to the Evolution API where you scan a QR code. When are they going to release it? They actually have released it already. You can do it through ManyChat. But as I said, it's not available to all countries and it has limited functionalities as well. So depending on what you want to do, you might want to go for Evolution API, which I guess most of my viewers are doing. But if you're an enterprise or a medium to large business that wants to get with this Meta API, please contact me in the description below and I can help you out. Okay, we can chat about your project. That's about it for this video. If you enjoyed the video and it was useful, please give me a thumbs up and a follow. I would appreciate that a lot. It helps the channel. And if you didn't like it, please drop a comment down below and let me know why. If you have any suggestions for any other videos, please also let me know in the comments below. If I make any resources for this, I will drop them in the private community, okay? And you can always join the free community in school to just keep updated with my news, any updates, and just chat with other like-minded people as well. Okay, cool. That's it for this video. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.